Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my little Jasmine at 1.5, and she's sitting up next to me on this pretty sunny day. We want to take a few minutes and show you something, but she wanted to show you her thrifted stuffed animal. It's called Violet. I think it's by VTech, and it had some kind of internal little mechanism that played music and spoke or whatever, but it didn't work, and so I just cut that mechanism out. The back of the animal closed with Velcro, and it's just got stuffing inside, and so we just closed it shut, ran it through the washer, and she came out really pretty. And this is one of my baby's little favorite toys, so she's just very happy with that. But she's going to sit here next to me, and I'm going to show you some things that we found at Walmart. This was in the next aisle over from where I usually get my craft paint. And you know I use the acrylic paints, and I get a lot of it from Walmart, either the Folk Art brand or the Apple Barrel brand. I try to paint on a budget, and I have had really good results with how I've painted. And so if you ever want to look at any of my past videos that shows how I've painted or explains the products I use, I can tell you that they've always worked for me. So but anyways, I was going to be in need of getting some more paint because I'm hoping to paint a new kit this coming month, and I was just looking to see what paint they had. So I just happened down the aisle that had the finer art supplies that had the gessos and the artist models and just the different things, the sketchbooks and all that. And I found this one set. It's a regular stocked item because they have the little tag on the shelf, but they only had one left. It's by Dollar Rowney. All these items are made in England, and it's an acrylic paint set, 40 pieces. Now you get 34 acrylic colors, you get 4 paintbrushes, you get this really neat metal storage case, and you get a paint mixing color guide, which is kind of like the a color wheel, so you can know how to make a ton of colors out of these basic ones just by how you mix them. So this was $19.97 at my local Walmart, but I thought that was an awesome deal because when I buy the Folk Art paints, they're 97 cents. If I buy the Apple Barrel paints, I think they're 50. And for 34 bottles of that, now you get a little bit less than you would in those little 2-ounce jars, I'm sure. But to get this variety of colors, I would be either spending out $18 pretty much for one, or $34 for the other, when you count tax and all. So I thought this was a real good deal, and like I said, I was needing to replace paint, so that is an awesome set, and I was very lucky to get that. The next item, most of you, if you paint anything, you have one of these. It's a plastic palette, and it was 97 cents. And yeah, I like that very much, especially when it's for little amounts, like you're going to do the eyebrows or the fingernails, or something that you're just wanting bits of paint and not a big one. I use other things to mix larger amounts of paint. Okay, the next item is a set of brushes, and like I said, this was all down the aisle that had the finer art supplies, and this is by that same company, and it says Acrylic Detail in Miniatures Gold Taklon, a 10-piece set, perfect for fine details, miniatures, and models. And it's got a variety of brushes in it. And you can see right there, it's got fan brush, it's got aligners, it's got just fine detail brushes, and very nice wooden handles, so it'll feel good in your hand. And then my final item that I got there, and I know I've probably overlooked this because I've walked those aisles a lot of times, and I don't recall seeing this, but it says Simply Acrylic Matte Medium. And the details about this is mix with acrylic color to increase transparency and flow, producing a transparent glaze effect finish. Can also be applied to finish acrylic artworks as a varnish. And since this is matte, you won't get the shine to it. I am going to actually add this along with each mixture that I make up of paint for my REBORN kit in place of where I have been using the Mod Podge. Mod Podge worked like this. I would use the matte kind, and it would just extend it, help it adhere. And I like the fact this says it'll give it some transparency, so it helps with keeping my paint from getting too bright or vivid or thick, and just keep it looking the way I want it to look as I paint each layer. Now, one more item that I got at Hobby Lobby. This is by Folk Art, and I have seen this when I'd go in to buy my Ultra Matte varnish. It's $1.99, and it's called Folk Art Blending Gel, and it's for acrylic paint. And it extends the drying time for blendability. And when I read that and then read the back details about it, I thought, well, that will give me some extra time on the little areas that I'm just painting a little bit of paint, but since acrylic paint dries quickly because it's mixed with water, it sometimes on the eyebrows or the nail tips, it will dry too quickly, and then if you need to correct it, you've got a problem. Well, this, it gives you a little bit of time, you know, a minute or so, or a few seconds, or maybe even a little bit longer. But like when I do an eyebrow, say I'll get one eyebrow just the way I want it, but then, you know, I have a hard time transferring, you know, painting that well on the second eyebrow. And so I kind of have to get a Q-tip and wipe that off and start it again, maybe a couple times before I get it where I want it. But when I add just a drop of this to the paint I'm using for those fine detail areas, it keeps it from drying out too quickly and gives me those few seconds that I need to wipe that off and start that over again. And it doesn't affect how it adheres to the vinyl. It doesn't affect the drying time, other than, you know, you're going to let it dry after you paint it anyway, so it's not a big problem. But the main thing is it gives you a little bit of window of opportunity to make corrections if you need to. A couple more things to show you. These are little spray bottles. You get a set of 3, 1 spray bottle and then 2 storage bottles. And I got these at the Dollar Tree, so $2 worth right here. And I'm going to use that for some details and for some craft things, but I thought these are good too to store extra paint that I've mixed up. Say I mixed it up and I've got some that has a blending medium in it. I've got some that has the matte medium already added, and my distilled water, and just mixed up that I want to, you know, keep. It's a bigger amount than I want to just, you know, let go of. I can store it in these, so that's great. And then these little spray bottles I can use for craft projects. So that was one thing there. And then whenever I'm pouncing with my sponges, I thought it would be nice to have something that I could just pounce on and then it would wash right off and I could reuse it. Because before, I've used paper towels, I've used old cloth items, I've used just different things, regular paper even, to pounce on, and it gets a little messy and you can't reuse it, and it's just not a good thing. But I found this at the Dollar Tree, and you get 2 in here, and it says set of 2 flexible chopping mats, and you find these over hanging where or laying where the kitchen items are, and by the placemats. And you get 2 in there, and like I said, you can just pounce away. You can put a little dab of paint if you're wanting to, you know, or you're wanting to get an ombre effect, or you're wanting to blend, or you're wanting to do something. And then when you're done with it, you just take it to your sink with hot soapy water, and that all washes off, and you've got a nice clean work surface again. So I thought that was a real good idea. And I just wanted to pass things along as I find them, in case anybody else wants to, you know, avail themselves of these items. Because like I said, I've walked down the aisles where the paints and craft items are in Walmarts, and I don't remember seeing this particular kit, and I don't remember seeing this matte medium. And I know for a fact I didn't see this set of paintbrushes, because I ended up going to Hobby Lobby and paying a lot more for a set of fine detail brushes there. And they're good brushes, I'm not putting that down, but to find an affordable one, $4.97 for this set of 10, I thought that was great. So if you can use any of these ideas, or if they're of interest to you and you want to just put them back in your memory for a future time when you're out and about and you might think you need it, yeah. And my little secret find here is the blending gel. I think it's an awesome product, and it really did help me with painting fine lines for eyebrows and painting the nail tips. It really did. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has an excellent day, and we will talk to you later.